Well, I guess it's time for another PBR with Nate. Just happen to have one right here. Cheers. I've taken a long hiatus. Not that there's not been anything to talk about. There's been plenty to talk about. Oh my God. I mean, where do we begin? However, I've taken a break from it. Trying not to be too divisive or anything such as that. So, just kind of taking a break from it, gathering my thoughts, hanging out with my family, doing things like that. That's what I've been doing. Well, now, this is what I want to talk about because I'm a veteran. And specifically, I was a bullet stopper. For those of you who don't know what a bullet stopper is, I was infantry, United States Army. Not only was I a bullet stopper, but I was a wind dummy. For those of you who don't know what that is, I was airborne. But anyway, enough said about that. Well, we got this Iran thing going on. We killed a legitimate bad guy. A legitimate freaking bad guy the other day. Soleimani. I know I'm not pronouncing it correctly. I'm not Iranian. So who cares? So we shoved a rocket up his rear end along with about 7 other really bad guys. And apparently that's caused a firestorm of I don't know. It's caused even more division. Apparently, if you believe what the news says, or what anybody else, it's caused a huge amount of division. Okay, so, and I understand why. Now, there's going to be 2 schools of thought on this. Is that you're going to have a school of thought is, hell yeah, we got a bad guy. That's awesome. Let's go get him. Let's kick their ass up and down Main Street, whatever else. And there's going to be that school of thought. And the other school of thought is that, well, it's our fault in the first place because we destroyed their homes and we destroyed their villages and we destroyed this and we did that, and it's our fault to start with. Understand that those are the two main schools of thought. I'm sure there's other in betweens or whatever else. There are those. It's like, well, that we wouldn't treat the U.S. as the great Satan unless that they had acted like the great Satan towards us. They have bombed our villages and bombed our children and blah blah blah. That has happened. It happened as recently as Barack Hussein Obama. He killed about 500. He killed 500 and some odd civilians, and his over 2,000 drone strikes. Just saying. By the way, those drone strikes were not had not been ran through Congress. However, I digress. I mean, I have strong thoughts on this. Bad guy, dead. Yay. I have very strong thoughts about that. And I am a veteran. And honestly, if I was, not even if I was 10 years younger, if I was 20 years younger, give me an M4 and put me in combat. I mean, I feel that way strongly. But that's just me. Yeah, I got a wife and kids and whatever else, but, the U.S. says I'm too old. Whatever. Regardless. bottom line, I'm not even going to say bottom line. Let's take this all the way. We're talking about Iran. I'm not going to say Iran. Iran. Because I'm from Georgia, by the way, so Iran. In 1979, well, let's say pre-1979, and on before that, all the way back to Persia. But specifically, we're talking about right around 1979. They had, it was called the Shah of Iran. Basically, he was the supreme leader, the ruler. Iran was a fairly prosperous country. Now, yes, were they corrupt? Was the leadership corrupt? Yes, they were corrupt. However, Iran was pretty much enjoying kind of a Western society kind of deal. Their women were allowed to walk around without, let's put it this way. Their women didn't have to walk around like this. They could wear whatever they wanted to, and I'm pretty sure they could drive and all that stuff. And there was a lot of other things that was going on. However, the Shah was corrupt. He was skimming money, and he was doing this and doing that. You know what? What regime isn't? But right around 79 or so, they'd had the oil embargoes and this, that, and another. And, well, the USSR, or Russia as we like to call them nowadays, but the USSR, the United Soviet Socialist Republic, decided they were going to back a coup in Iran, because Iran was a stopgap in the Middle East for the Soviets. You got to consider, when the Shah was running Iran, it had a relatively good economy going on over there. I'm not saying the Shah was a good guy. I really am not. But it had a relatively good economy going on over there. We were trading with them. They were not bugging Israel. They were not doing any kind of crazy stuff like that. They were just, hey, we're going to sell some oil and we're going to make some money and blah, blah, blah. And, they have Western-style universities over there and this, that, and other. Whatever. Soviets didn't like that. Well, the hardliners, the Shias, or Shiites, whatever, some of you don't even know what the hell the difference is between a Shia and a Sunni. Look it up. I'm not going to explain it. I ain't got time to explain it. Anyway, the Shia hardliners were like, oh, we have to have Islamic State and this, that, and another, and Islamic Sharia law and blah, blah, blah. And, guess who backed them? USSR. This was 79. They wanted a foothold in the Middle East. Well, they got it. And if you look back at the history of it, at the time, we had the Carter administration. However, the Carter administration and the media at the time backed the revolution. Back the protest to the Shah. There was a lot of money that was being poured into the revolution. There was a lot of money that was being poured into these student protests that were going on. Huge, massive amounts of money that were being spent. The USSR was spending tons of money. And then it was getting played over here, and our administration, along with the media, was just playing it over and over and over again. Iran sucks, the Shah is terrible, we got to get rid of him. The people's revolution. Fast forward to today. Well, not even fast forward to today. Sorry. Just This is a beer show, by the way. Anyway, so not even fast forward to today. Stay around 1979. The Shah is dethroned. The Ayatollah Khomeini takes over. And next thing you know, we've got American hostages. What for? Why? For what reason? What reason? All of a sudden, because, Jimmy Carter loved the revolution. It took over, and now all of a sudden, you're taking American hostages. Why? What for? Oh, and as a side note, any of you who remember Ross Perot? He put together a mission to get his own people out of Iran. Because, let's put it this way, America had a ton of interest in Iran, technological and everything. Ross Perot had a ton of people over there. Look it up. He put together an amazing mission to get his people out, and it's a fantastic book. And you might need to check that out sometime. Nonetheless, I'm just saying. So, pretty much, our administration and the media was like behind the Iranian protests. And I'm sure there are plenty of my friends who are going to be like, no, 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 no. Okay, look back. Just take a look back. I mean, seriously. Take a look back. Take a strong look back. Oil embargo, this, that, and another. We're not going to have any more oil. We're running out of it. Blah, blah, blah. This, that, and another. Look. As I said before, I'm not saying the Shah wasn't a bad guy. I'm not saying he wasn't corrupt. Look what happened. Look what happened. And look who backed the Ayatollah. Anyway. So, the Ayatollah takes over. They institute Sharia law. They are Shia. And, they do their thing. They take American hostages. Blah, blah, blah. And President Carter realizes, okay, wait a minute. Maybe we screwed up. We got hostages over there. We got to take them back. But, he was not a military guy. He didn't know anything about military stuff. All he knew was peanuts. He didn't know military stuff. So, he didn't give our guys what they needed to get over there and get them out. So, they didn't get them out. And then they stayed for, I don't know how many days. I remember watching this as a kid. And thinking that this was terrible. Because all I saw on the nightly news was, because my dad loved to watch the news. And all I could see on the nightly news was that our people were held hostage, civilians held hostage and were being tortured in Iran. And, that made a huge impression on me. So, fast forward to 1980, think what you will. Like I say, think what you will about Carter, think what you will about Reagan, think what you will about any president. I don't care. Reagan gets in there, guess what? Hostages come back. Took a tough stance. Was ready to whip some ass. Hostages come back. So now let's see, that was 1980, 81. Let's flash forward to 2020. God, I'm getting old. An Iranian general who is responsible for paying proxies and providing proxies with intelligence and setting up mission plans for proxies in Iraq and Syria, which Iran is basically in control of both those countries. you know, he decides that he's going to take some pot shots at a base in Iraq. Kills a contractor, wounds a bunch of other soldiers. Okay, well, he did that. He was one that ordered that and came up with a plan. So what does the U.S. do? Well, they strike against, a Iranian proxy base in Iraq. They kill some people. So, Soleimani says, hey, guess what? They killed some of your guys. Why don't we go storm the embassy? Let's do a Benghazi. Let's do that. Let's storm the embassy. You killed our people. Death to America. Blah, blah, blah. They do that. Well, that don't work out too well because the president says, no, we're going to send a crap ton of Marines. We're going to mobilize the 82nd Airborne Division. And we're going to secure the area. And we're going to do this and we're going to do that. So they secure it. And repel the foreign invaders onto American soil, which the embassy is American soil in the U.S. in Iraq. They repel the invaders. So Soleimani, who has been, by the way, declared a terrorist because he comes from the #1 state-sponsored terror organization in the world, but he has been declared a terrorist and he has been declared a target in the past. The CIA, the DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency, by the way, the Pentagon, all these other intelligence agencies. Now, people say, if you believe CNN, you would think that Trump just said, hey, there's that Soleimani guy. Let's go in and shoot him down. This is Soleimani. He's the perfect target. He's the fabulous target. And we're going to shoot our most magnificent missile right up his fabulous ass. And we're going to kill him. No, that was not it. It was the CIA, the DIA, the Pentagon, and all those intelligence agencies, State Department, everything came to him and said, this guy is planning more and more and more attacks like the last one he planned that killed an American contractor. And this crap goes all the way back to 1979. And anyway, he had planned all these attacks. He was planning more. Why the hell do you think that he landed in Iraq and met with his proxy leader, and they jumped into that SUV together? What were they doing? Going to have a picnic and hold hands? No, they were going to plan more attacks, and they had already planned stuff. So, target of opportunity, the intelligence agencies came to the president and said, we got him. Let's get him. He's the one that did this. He's the one that led the attacks. We retaliate. We put it down. We cut the head off the snake. So, now, let me get this straight. So now, all of a sudden, we need congressional clearance. Now, I want you to look up somebody named Dan Crenshaw. And you look at his answer to what they said. We need a congressional clearance and blah, 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 blah. No, he didn't. It was 100% legal. But lay even that aside. This guy is responsible for the deaths of 600 American people, soldiers. Now, I'm sure there's some of you out there that say, well, they were soldiers, they signed up for it, and blah, 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 and they did this and they did that, and they were just serving under the, corrupt regime, blah, blah, blah. Now, those are also the same ones that are saying, well, we're sending our boys and girls over there to die and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be frank with you. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straight up with you right now. Because this offends me. It offends me in a huge way. Now, I'm not being a snowflake. I don't care what you think. But I'm going to tell you what offends me. And you can take that for what it's worth. You can care or you can't care. I don't care. This is a free freaking country. You can do with it as you please. You can crap on it and wipe your butt with it. I don't care. But I'm telling you my opinion, and this offends me. When I volunteered knowing full well I was going to go into it. That I was going to get into it. I volunteered for the infantry. You know why? Listen, I passed the ASVAB almost at 100%. I was offered every single job in the United States Army. That's what I was offered. I told him, I said, well, I want to be infantry. He said, why in the hell would you want to do that? I said, because when I was a kid, I didn't run around playing desk jockey, signing somebody up for some whatever. I played good guys and bad guys. I shot the bad guys and the bad guys shot at me. That's what I did. And that's the way I felt about my country. I was willing to lay my life on the line. So, all of you folks that sit around here and say, and look, you know, your mamas and your daddies and all that, and I would feel the same way if it was my kids. But they made the decision, and they are grown, and that's what they want to do. They are doing something that is greater than themselves. Respect that. And don't sully that. Stand behind them and stand up for them and say that my child made a decision that was greater than themselves. And they stand up for me and for my rights and for, you know, the rights of people around the world. Look. You know, say what you will. I know there's still going to be people out there. There's going to be friends of mine who I love very much. And who, regardless of how they feel about this, I will still love very much. And I will still hug them around the neck. And I will still kiss them on the cheek and tell them I love them. And stand beside them. And they know who they are. They know who they are. Even if they don't agree with what I'm saying. Even if they're polar opposites of what I'm saying. But I love them. And they're my family. And that's the people that I made the decision for, that I made in the past. That I would make today. That put an M4 in my hand. Put a chute on my back. And let me go take care of it. But I'm apparently too old. Well, my knees are too old. Nonetheless. But I would still do that today. But don't sit here and say that when America kills a really, really bad guy, because he's not just responsible for American deaths, he's responsible for thousands of Iranians' deaths. The ones that protested against the Ayatollah. The ones that protest against the current regime. He's responsible for thousands of those deaths. He's responsible for thousands of other deaths around the region. Because they don't believe in Sharia. They don't believe, not even Sharia, but because they're not Shiite. He's killing his own Muslim people. Because, let me tell you something, I'm a Presbyterian. I'm not going to go out here and shoot a Baptist in the head. Good grief. I'm not even going to go out here and strangle an atheist. That is freaking ridiculous. So, understand this. Look, I know there's those of you that honestly believe that we started this. Believe what you believe. That's great. And and if you can take it to that, if you can disprove me on that, that's fine. I will listen to you. You know I will listen to you. And you know that even if I disagree with you, you know that I'm going to stand with you. But don't say, really do not say, that it was a bad idea to kill this bad guy. Because at that point, I will not agree with you. He pushed terrorism all around the world. Not just against us, but against lesser countries and against... Don't say it was a bad idea. Seriously. I mean, what happens, happens. But nonetheless, an evil, evil, evil person is dead today that cannot kill anymore. So, I personally don't think we started it. I think the Ayatollah started it way back when. Regardless of what anybody thinks, we've been in a state of war against Iran since that happened. As far as I'm concerned, when the first time they took hostages without provocation and they had the backing of our government, I mean, oh my God. Whatever. And you know what? Say what you will about those folks. Well, Reagan sold weapons to Iran. Whatever. There's a lots of shady deals that goes on back and forth between governments. It happens a lot. A lot more than we know. We don't know all the details. We don't know why. We don't know all the details. Iran-Contra, hey, there was, communists knocking on our door in the South. Whatever. I don't care. I don't agree with Iran-Contra. Whatever. I don't care. Bottom line is, Iran is a bad, bad place. There's bad things happening there. They control 3 countries over there. They control Iran. They control Syria. They control Iraq. Is that a good idea? Really? Is that a good idea to control that huge of a territory in the Middle East? Think about it. They control that much of the Middle East. The freaking prime minister in Iraq is a puppet of Iran. So is Bashar al-Assad in Syria. He's a puppet of Iran. And guess who backs him? Putin. So come on. Really? Really? This was a bad idea. And you know what? I think that this war, whatever you're talking about, World War III, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's talking about the draft. Ain't going to be no draft. You stupid as... Forgive me, Lord. You are stupid if you believe there's going to be a draft. Honestly. That is so stupid. World War III. There's not going to be a World War III. It's going to be a push-button war. We're going to take out about 3 or 4 refineries. That's going to cripple Iran's economy. And everything is going to collapse. But, that's just my opinion. Whatever. Look, if you disagree with me on this, I love you. I really do. And I know the people that are going to disagree with me on this. And they know that I love them. And that I give everything for them. And I stand next to them still, regardless of agreement or disagreement. It's because this is America. United States of America. We have a Constitution that guarantees the right that I can think differently from anybody else. And screw it. Whatever. But don't just sit here and condemn this action without thinking it through and without going through all emotions and not just being a mouthpiece for a certain political party and saying puking just because Orange Man bad. You know, don't just do it that way. Think it through. You know, if you're going to do it because the Orange Man bad, shut your freaking mouth. But if you're going to do it because you actually know something and have done the research and can compel somebody otherwise because you have a strong argument, then we can talk. Biden needs to shut his mouth because he was there in the Obama administration when they killed over 500 civilians with 2,000 plus whatever drone strikes. Hey, collateral damage, whatever. We're gonna get our people out. Yeah. We're gonna close Guantanamo. Biden, you were right there next to him. So shut your mouth. Don't even talk about collateral damage. Don't even talk about something that's, a war or whatever. Don't even talk about it because you were right there with Barack when all of that crap happened, because he did more drone strikes, he caused more war, he caused more death than George W. Bush did. Don't even deny it. He caused more death, and he exacerbated things more than George W. Bush did with his WMDs. So don't even start. So Biden, shut your freaking mouth. Because you don't know, you know. So Biden, shut your mouth. Tulsi Gabbard, I'll listen to you, but I still disagree with you. I disagree with you. Anyway, alright, so this has been PBR with Nate. Love all of you. Appreciate all of you. And hope y'all have a good day. And hope y'all had a good Christmas and had a happy Merry New Year. Is that what I was going to say? Happy New Year. May God bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you. Cheers to you.